What is going on YouTube? What is up TikTok? Ben here, Tactical Edge Trading, and welcome back everybody to the close with Ben. And let's just get this right out of the way, right out of the gate. The market up again today. It's 3 weeks in a row. Look at this chart. Look at ES right now. ES, the S&P 500. Sorry, this is NQ. NQ's basically 1.5% away from the all-time high. ES is where it gets crazy. It's 0.5% from the all-time high. 3 weeks in a row now, straight up V-shaped recovery. On the surface, it looks good, right? NASDAQ up almost 2% today. S&P up over 1%. Oil's getting crushed. Like everything is going the right way. And it is. I'm not taking it away from the market. I just want you to actually think about what's happening right now. There's still no deal. The US and Iran have not signed a single thing. Talks are just possibly back on the table. That's it. And the market it's acting like the war is basically over right now. Now look, I get it. The markets, here's the thing about the markets. They don't wait for things to actually happen. They price in what they think is going to happen. They're forward thinking. That's just how the markets work. And honestly, the setup makes sense. You've got money that's been sitting on the sidelines. People who sold when the war started, and that money it's starting to trickle back in. We're seeing it. We're seeing stocks and equities and everything kind of catch a bid right now. You've got traders who essentially also, like the flip side of it is you've also got people who bet against the market, who shorted it, right? They put whatever, and now they're kind of getting squeezed out. They have been getting squeezed out. So all of that is real, and all that is pushing us higher right now. But I want to keep coming back to this. So the whole rally right now, everything we've seen for the last 3 weeks is built on one thing: the belief that the war is almost over. So that's the foundation. And if that foundation cracks, I'm not saying when, I'm saying if one headline comes out tonight saying talks fell apart, look, this doesn't just dip a little bit, it unwinds, and it could unwind fast. So Ken Griffin, some of you guys might know that name if you paid attention to the GameStop days. He's the guy who runs Citadel. It's one of the biggest hedge funds in the world. He stood on stage today. He literally stood on stage today and said that the strait is closed for 6 months to 12 months and the world goes into a recession. So he said that out loud in front of a bunch of investors and Wall Street bros today. And the market just shrugged it off. So whatever, bro. So that's where we are right now. So the market is betting on the best case, and the best case, it might actually happen. I'm not saying it won't, but you need to know what you're actually trading right now. Because if you're long right now thinking that the hard part's over, just understand this, that you're not trading what happened, you're trading what the market hopes is about to happen. So let's just kind of get into it today. So look, number one, NASDAQ up almost 2% today, S&P up about 1.1%. Oil got crushed today. Oil down about 7%. It's at about $92 a barrel right now. So energy got crushed. Pretty clean on the surface, like I said, but a couple of things that are worth noting. So the Dow only gained about 0.6% today. So while the NASDAQ was up almost 2%. Financials barely moved. So this wasn't like everything kind of going up together. It was really kind of tech pulling the index higher while a lot of other stuff just kind of sat there. And Bitcoin, flat. It's actually technically down on the day right now, 0.5%, sitting at about $74,000. So in a day where the NASDAQ is up almost 2%, I think you would kind of expect crypto to or at least Bitcoin to move with it. It didn't. It's small. It's a small thing, but it's worth noting. And oil being down 7%, that's the real story at the end of the day. This is not about supply and demand. That's fear leaving the price. The whole run up from 65 to over $100 or $120, whatever it hit, was just built on the war. And if the war ends, that premium comes out fast. And today, just a taste of that. Gold was even up today. Gold ran up 2%, 48.64 right now in the futures market. But honestly, gold has kind of been doing its own thing for like a year now. Central banks around the world have been just loading up on it. The dollar's been losing its grip as like the go-to global reserve currency. And what happened, right? The Iran war and all the headlines and uncertainty just added an inflation layer on top of that. If oil goes up and stays elevated, then everything goes up. So gold running up on a green day, it doesn't mean much or anything weird is happening. It just means gold, it had its own reasons to be up right now and has nothing to do with what stocks are doing at the end of the day. And I think the real tell was what didn't move as much as you'd expect. And it wasn't the gold, right? It was financials, it was Bitcoin, it was the Dow. That's where the unevenness kind of showed up today. So what moved the markets today? Well, I think it's pretty simple. Again, the Iran deal hope, it's what's been moving the markets. It's obviously positioning. There's no deal yet, but traders are pricing in like, like there will be one soon. So every time a headline says talks possible, just oil drops and stocks rip at the end of the day. That's the trade. The market stopped pricing in the war and started pricing in an end to the war at the end of the day. So as long as that narrative holds, look, the path of least resistance stays up. Now, driver number 2, like I mentioned, was oil drops 7%. So $92 a barrel right now on oil in the futures market, WTI. So again, this isn't like a supply and, well, I guess at its core, it's supply and demand, but it's fear that the Strait of Hormuz stays closed and oil stays at 115. And that fear is leaving the price. And when oil falls, the whole inflation story gets better, which means the Fed doesn't have to stay as aggressive, which means, again, more upside potential, right? Growth stocks can kind of breathe again, which is what we're seeing. And that's just a chain reaction that drove today. Now, another big one was PPI came in soft, right? Wholesale inflation. So this is just what businesses pay before consumers do at the end of the day. It came in at 0.5%. So Wall Street was bracing for 1.1. That's a big old miss to the downside. And in the good way, it meant that inflation panic from last week's hot CPI report, it got partially walked back. It's not fixed. We're not out of the water there. It's just kind of like less bad right now. And that was enough, again, for the bulls to continue stampeding, right? To step on the gas even more. Now, for a lot of stocks right now, especially software stocks, beaten into the ground, right? So the squeeze is still running. The names that got crushed when the war started, names like Palantir, Oracle, Nvidia, were sitting on just massive short positions. So as the recovery narrative builds, those shorts have to what? They have to buy back their positions. So it's just mechanical buying that just helps push prices, higher fast, which forces more shorts to cover. I mean, that's why the downtrend here was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks, and then 3 weeks, and we've erased it all. So it's buying, it's the sideline money kind of coming back in. It's the short squeeze as well. It's pricing in an end of the war. But look, this is kind of what a squeeze looks like at the end of the day. It doesn't need new buyers. It just needs sellers to panic out. And that's kind of what started this ball uphill. So there were some winners today. So Oracle was up big yesterday and actually was up big again today. So Oracle released new AI product upgrades yesterday. But the bigger story is this. They have $500 billion in signed customer contracts. That's $500 billion. That's money customers have already committed to paying them. And the market is finally realizing that number's real. So Oracle, for the last 2 days, 2 days of big gains after just months of being ignored. So I do want to look at Oracle here just a little bit, just to kind of catch us up here. So again, this is the weekly chart. Let's kind of go to the daily here. Let's pull it up. So Oracle's running into a little resistance at these highs. So, I mean, really, again, we talked about this yesterday. I want to see us, and there's still plenty of time left this week. If this continues to catch a bid and we can flip that $171.50 level, man, I mean, that's a whole range here now that we've been in since the 1st of February, where we've just been chopping sideways here. We're coming up into supply, up into resistance, whatever you want to call it. But if we can shift this structure higher, right? Bulls are in control. Look out, because this thing is going to start attacking the highs. $200, $227. So Oracle, again, not out of the woods completely, but definitely something to watch. Definitely something to put on the watch list here. Again, I want to see Oracle close above that $171. Otherwise, it's still range bound at the end of the day from a technical standpoint, right? But it's been catching a bid. It's had 2 solid green days. I mean, again, I don't know when the last time Oracle had a solid day like this. I have to zoom wave. It's been a while. So continue to watch Oracle. Again, it's up here in supply now. I'm not saying buy it. I don't need to catch a bottom. I just need to catch the cleanest part of the move. Let's flip this level. Show me that the gates are open, that the bulls are back in charge. The bears are backing off. And again, you don't think there's some puts and some short interest in there to squeeze out, because there is. And I would imagine that a lot of people who are positioned to the downside on this thing, who are, short Oracle, are watching this level. So you might see some forced buying if we blow through that level. We haven't done it yet, but I'm just saying, watch it. Now, another one today, that's been doing good, right? It didn't even bleed as much as the other ones have been bleeding. Is Nvidia, right? It continued to climb. So no specific news today, really. It moved because Oracle moved. So both are kind of like the backbone of AI. I mean, Nvidia is selling shovels in the AI gold rush, right? So Nvidia makes chips, Oracle runs data centers. So when one moves, traders kind of just pile into the other. So also massive short interest from the sell-off. So the squeeze amplifies everything up. So again, this is just one of the stronger stocks. You look at a lot of the Mag 7s. You look at the Microsoft. I guess Meta isn't as bad. I mean, Microsoft right now is still down. Look at that. It's a completely different chart, right? Like still down 30%. Still a lot of room to go up. And Nvidia, meanwhile, is sitting up here pretty much at the highs. Yeah, we got that high at 212. But you look at like the range. I mean, it's there. It's there. It's been ranging out since what? July of 2025 is when we kind of broke into this range, called this support, and even got that kind of fake breakout before it just continued to chop. So we're pushing up against that right now. I think you take out that $200 level. I think you're staring 212 into the face again. Again, am I saying buy high right now? No, I probably want to see that 196, 197 flip, ultimately 200. That's going to open up the road, so to speak, to get up to that 212 again. And then we can flip that. Away we go on that one. But another big one, and I've been talking about this one. Everyone's been talking about this one, Palantir. Now, I talked about this one because of the trade that was in Friday. I entered the trade. It was a long, literally 2 minutes later, the president of the United States, Trump, he tweeted about it and it took off, right? So it continues to climb. Now, the irony is the Iran war is good for Palantir's business. They're a core developer of the Golden Dome missile defense program and a lot of other stuff, right? So they have a $175 billion government contract. So this defense spending goes up in a war environment. That's how it should work. So even though like the broader market kind of sold off when the war started, Palantir's like actual revenue story, it got better. So what I talked about with Palantir yesterday, what I liked, I'm not in that long position anymore. I mean, it was just scalped it, but we swept the lows. That was my signal to long Palantir. I still want to see it reclaim this low, which it tested it today, right? It didn't close above it. It's still kind of testing the waters a little bit. I want to see us like solid close above that $136, $137 level. And then what I really want to see is like a higher low put in, right? So maybe even it's off of a back test. Maybe we break through tomorrow, you get that back test and away you go. If you're thinking of like longer term plays on this thing, maybe buying a little bit of a longer term call option or something like that, that's just me and how my brain works and what I'd be looking for on Palantir. But first step, good. Swept the lows, reclaimed it. Again, fundamentals, good, big old contracts. Don't sleep on Palantir. Now, the other big one was gold. So gold has kind of, like I said, it's been doing its own thing for a little while now. Central banks, again, globally have been just buying it. Dollar's been weakening. So Iran added, inflation worries on top of that. So gold ran up. Everyone knows the gold story, right? It's just continuing to do what it's been doing for the better part of a year now. Now, the more interesting question for gold, let me pull up the gold chart here real quick. So the more interesting question, I think, for gold is this. So does the Iran deal narrative start to take some wind out of it? So if we get some certainty to gold and we see inflation keep dropping, does the wind leave gold sales? So if the war risk fades and inflation fears ease with it, that's could be a headwind for gold. So watch whether gold holds these levels as the peace trade kind of builds, or if we start to pull back and we see some of that flow elsewhere. So right now, gold, I think just looking at the chart, it's, 48.50. I mean, look, just put a straight line across this. Why is this an important level? Well, support, right? Flipped it, resistance, resistance, resistance. Catching a bid above 48.50, you're attacking the highs again. But right now, it's almost like we're back testing a breakdown, and we've been back testing it since what, last week, middle of last week, couldn't even really get up there the week prior to that on April 1st, but got close to it, tested the area at the very least. So I guess on gold, the bullish stance, like, does gold continue higher or not? Well, you know, flip it and show me some aggression, show me some participation, show me some effort above. And sure, I think so, but I don't know that I'm positioned long gold from an investment standpoint from way lower. But like, if I was going to think about buying gold right now, I might wait to see, man, how the whole war reaction, inflation reaction plays out, because it just could go either way. And I know that's silly to say, we could go up, we could go down, but I mean, it can, because if gold starts to sell off, we start to get a pullback, people take profits from gold from riding it up, that could be a thing too at the end of the day. And there's some losers today. So I mean, obviously oil down $92. You know, right now it's down almost 8%. It's actually losing 90. It's actually lower than when I started the stream today. So 91.28. It was at like $92 not too long ago. But the energy sector also got hit just as a whole. So XLE down about 2.8% right now. So if we look at XLE here real quick, and for anyone who doesn't know, this is State Street's energy sector ETF. So it's like a basket of energy sector ETFs, right? You don't own one stock, you own a basket of energy sector stocks. So there's not a whole lot of technical levels on this, because I mean, this thing just ripped, just like oil ripped when the war started. So again, pullbacks on this thing right now, it's tough. I mean, maybe that kind of $54 to $53 level, kind of in there, I would watch. And now obviously this thing's going to come down. There's going to be people taking profits. This thing's going to pull back. I'm not saying buy this right now. You missed your chance to buy it when this thing took off, but it's going to pull back, just like oil will pull back if the direction continues like it is. But there will be a dip buying opportunity. Maybe it's $50. Maybe it's $50. I kind of like $50, right? Retest that breakout, because ultimately there was the high that started this a little bit of downtrend. There was the breakout. Set some alerts on $50, man. If you want to get into an ETF on the energy sector, right? I mean, it's this, right? Fear is starting to leave price, right? The energy trade, it was just a war trade. And if the war ends, the oil trade ends with it. And you're going to see all of this stuff kind of just pull back a little bit. The other big losers, and again, not giant, but airlines continued to suffer a little bit. So Delta Airlines, United Airlines. I mean, United's just been beat up, right? So United Airlines. You zoom out on this thing. I mean, it started to come back, right? You got that big pump up. It dumped. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how I would play these airline stocks right now. I mean, look at this, right? How far are we away from resistance? And this thing's been resistant. So you got February of 2025. This was January of 26. This was February. And then everything kind of dumped. I guess the good news is, yeah, it did sweep the lows. This is technically a lower low right now, right? So there's the highs, right? Bulls in charge, what you're supposed to do. And then all of a sudden, lower low. I would really watch what happens here. Really watch what happens here. If this is a lower high, this thing's coming down. This thing's coming down. You know, maybe it's, I don't know, maybe it's $100, man. Nice little round psychological level. It's not like $100 hasn't been resistance in the past. So, you know, also, again, your pattern traders, shoulder, head and shoulders on that thing. I'll maybe catch a bid on a pullback or something like above 117, 118 bucks on this one. Let's go to Delta real quick. Delta's looking a little stronger than American Airlines is. I mean, again, it's a similar structure, airline stock, right? Boom, boom, boom. You know, same thing. Like it's like the moves already happened. So either flip that 76.49 to go higher. Otherwise, I'm just buying into resistance here. Show me a bid higher. Right, show me that breakout, show me that retest that gets bought up, and then just kind of bid it up. Or again, lower high into coming back down to that $55 level. It's not like that's super far away. I mean, it's 22%, but we've done that in a week and a half here. So continue to watch airlines here, be cautious with them, but support, resistance, you know what I mean? Supply, buy low, sell high. I don't want to buy high, although I'd rather have it flip, right? Open up the gates, easy invalidation. If I'm buying a call option, or if I'm buying the stock here and it slips back into range, I'll lose a little bit of money. It's just easier invalidation than kind of buying. This isn't really like middle of the range, but it's also not like bottom of the range, right? Where I would like to buy. So that's kind of the winners and the losers of the day, man. So if you guys got some charts, love dips, says Chris. What up? What up, Brian? Chris got squeezed. Current candle says uptrend. Everything says uptrend, man. Sup, Brian. Nasdaq last 2 days was just straight up. Nice to trade. Oil, I keep losing, but I can't stop trying to catch major reversals. It's silly. Hey, at least you recognize it's silly, man. What else? This is literally astrology, says someone who doesn't know what the hell they're talking about. All right, that's cool, man. Boom. I looked at gold. You guys are asking for stuff I already looked at, man. I just spent 45 minutes rambling about gold, rambling about Palantir. Nelly made 400 on Meta Day. Good job, dude. Let's look at Bloom Energy. We'll look at Bloom Energy for Will. Look at this energy stuff. Oof, look at that thing, man. I mean, this thing just, again, pump, flag, pump on this thing. I mean, unfortunately, I think it was Will, right? Will, you know, I mean, there's no real technicals above us on this thing, but if you're in a call on this, if you're long on Bloom Energy, I mean, you're good until you start just invalidating structure, which, I mean, it really hasn't done. It's just been up and up and up and up. I mean, look how beautiful this is. Like, here, to the guy who said there's astrology, here's how I trade. Look at that swing failure pattern. Slept all the lows. Everyone shorting this thing, right? Everyone piling in short there just fell into a trap. They got absorbed, right? Big limit order sitting down here, and boom, away we go. That was the move. That was the squeeze, right? Everyone shorting on the, everyone thinking we're coming down, piling in short, get absorbed, squeeze them out. That was the squeeze for higher here, brother. I mean, look, I think you're good on this thing until some new structure forms. I mean, look at the daily. This is the weekly. Yeah, I mean, 180 bucks, above 180 bucks, you shouldn't be concerned on this thing. I mean, you might even get, I mean, there's a nice little gap there, right? Maybe it kind of pulls back a little bit, but until you start like getting acceptance in the prior ranges and the previous auctions, or all of a sudden tomorrow this thing turns into some kind of swing failure up here, which, I mean, that's a pretty strong impulsive move up. I think you're good on this thing, man. It's a 20% break above the high from the middle of February on this one. All right, guys, let's do Palantir again. Let's look at Palantir again. So here's what I was saying about Palantir. So I took a Palantir trade on Friday. So this is where I traded right here. I was watching, we talked about this even before this trade on this channel, right? $127 area. What I wanted to see is the same thing that happened on Bloom Energy. I wanted to see us sweep a significant swing, weekly swing low to go long, right? And we got that. So anyone who shorted this break, and I can promise you, a whole shitload of people shorted it. A whole shitload of people. Jack, get out of here, man. There's so many bots on freaking YouTube, man. Just watching order. I was watching flow on Friday, and everyone smashed short as soon as that level broke, but the price didn't really budge, which told me someone's there absorbing. And I shit you not, 3 minutes later, the President of the United States tweeted about Palantir, even tweeted the stock ticker, and it ripped. So again, would this have happened anyways? Probably, because I was already seeing people get filled down there even before the tweet came out. I think it just helped us go up at the end of the day. So my point is, we grabbed fuel. Positions changed hands. The shorts turned into longs because when people are forced to cover, that's just fuel to go up. But let's look at what matters right now. So what I'm watching, I should say, not matching. What I'm watching on Palantir is that kind of, it's this low. So this is a daily chart. I know it might be tough to kind of see on TikTok. I'm just looking at the swing lows, right? Boom to boom. So there's a high, there's the low. So right now there's the breakdown. Now it's just back testing. So this could be it could be, I don't have a crystal ball. You know what I mean? The markets aren't about prediction. I'm just going to react to what price is doing. This could be a bearish backtest on this thing, and we could go like this. I'm not saying that's going to happen because I'm not in the prediction business or even the being right business. What I want to see for the healthy uptrend to continue is for us to see bidding and effort above that level, not just a wick into it and then a pullback, right? As maybe just some people who kind of caught longs here are pushing back. So I would like to see that 130, 136, basically this low. I want to see us get above it, a solid back test, because then I think you have some room to run up 13, 14% to at least attack that next high up there, right? Like where the decision is going to be made on this chart, it's here, 136 bucks. It's here, 156 bucks. And go higher than that, it's there. But I think you take out 136 is a good shot, man. At least 156, then we'll cross the next bridge when we come to it at the end of the day. Guys, I appreciate everyone for watching. My name is Ben. I go live just about every single day, 5 p.m. Eastern. Smash that thumbs up, subscribe, turn notifications. Not a course seller. Don't have any links for you guys to sign up, but there's free courses on our site. If this is new to you, if you think this is astrology, let me teach you. ChatGLedgeTraders.com, free courses. Drop some more stuff in the chat. Boom, boom, boom. Brian, thanks for answering questions, brother. Palantir, yeah, it's a company. Palantir, big defense contractor. Boom, 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 boom. Spy. Steve on. I did Spy. Maybe we'll do Spy again. We can do SOXL though. I like that one. Let's do SOXL. So the bullish semiconductor ETF, again, like shit. I mean, this is, how do you want me to TA this? You want me to TA this from a day trading standpoint? Like what I would look for an entry tomorrow? You're not holding this thing overnight, right? Like you're not long and holding this overnight. Are you looking for a trade into tomorrow? Who asked for SOXL? Joe, are you looking for like entries for tomorrow? To not to day trade, to just buy it, you mean? No, not entries. I'm looking for a pullback. Well, if you're looking for a pullback, I mean, where are you looking for a pullback to, right? Does the market agree that this is a real move? Right? So you had a big breakup, man. You had a strong, I mean, here, it's the same thing, right? Just like on Palantir, swept the lows, reclaimed the level, squeezed the frickin' shorts out. That's exactly what happened here. It even gave us enough fuel to pump through. So, man, maybe that kind of 72.67 level. Now, if you want me to get a little more like going into tomorrow, do you know what I mean? Like maybe it comes down and attacks the daily low. You know what I mean? Maybe it attacks the pre-market. I mean, you look at this thing, what does it like to do? Well, it likes to take pre-market levels and then pump, right? You look at, didn't really do it that day. Here was open. What did it take? Man, this thing's just been ripping. I guess your best case, dude, is 80 bucks. Your best case on this one's 80 bucks. If you lose 80 bucks on this thing, it's 72, right? And then it's down to 58. So I would look at those levels, watch those levels for pullbacks at the end of the day. Those are the biggest ones that I see on there. Triple top. I mean, I think it's kind of invalidated the triple top. But I mean, I see what you mean. 1, 2, 3, but it's shot it up. And now if this thing comes back and comes underneath these triple tops, holy bear or bull trap. Holy bull trap. But I think it's kind of overshot it a little bit. Amazon. Let's look at Amazon here for Christopher. All right. So Amazon pushing the highs, right? I mean, this is a monthly. Let's look at weekly low here. Yeah, I mean, Amazon's just pushing the highs, man. Boom. Chris, If I was watching this thing, I'm watching that $258 level for a reaction. What has it been doing lately though? It's just been taking liquidity and running. Taking, I guess here, kind of swept. Here it kind of swept and then dumped a little bit. I watched 258, Chris, right? Like this thing's gonna do one of two things. The market's good. It's gonna consume this liquidity and it's just gonna run higher. You know, if we get up here and you start seeing those peace talks fall apart a little bit, watch that level for a sweep, man. Watch that level for a sweep, but strong reaction off of that $200 low. Well, look, swept it, came back, market saying, do we agree on this? And then boom, it just took off. So I'd watch that. If you're asking from like a pullback standpoint, right? Again, you got a gap. I mean, there's little gaps in here, but 220 bucks and then kind of down here around 200. Like if this gets rejected, if it doesn't go up, watch those areas. I mean, this thing was fast up. If something turns around, it could come down just as quickly. But I'd watch that high, man. Watch that high, at least for like that initial sweep reaction too. I don't know that I would marry a short there unless the market turns the other way right now with everything just kind of catching a bid. But there's no, once you get up here, dude, other than up here, there's no more juice left to squeeze up, right? So some of that fuel, I mean, this is all fuel, right? That pushed us higher. What else? ZS, we can look at ZS. Let's look at ZS. So my question is, where is ZS headed, right? I mean, it's just been, it was coming out of April of 2023. I mean, it's an uptrend, right? Then you swept the highs and that just squeezed everyone out. So I'm asking myself right now, how can I find this same type of setup to ride it to the top? To where, you know, number one, look at this. Look what's set up the uptrend. That's what I'd be looking for now. So you have a low, then you have a lower high, then we swept that low, which gave us fuel to go up. So anyone who shorted here became trapped, so they're forced to close so people can catch a bid and shoot this thing up. And then at the top, it's the same thing. There's the high, there's the fake out. Every breakout trader getting into that thing is now trapped, and that's fuel to move down. I want to see that same behavior on the way up. I do. And the only areas that I see, it could happen here. Maybe it's this low, but I think the more obvious, like where's obvious? Where are people going to react to this? And I'm not trading the level, I'm trading the reaction to the level. There's a big difference there, right? I want to see us sweep it, reclaim it, and boom, just like here, just like here. And we're heading somewhere, right? Maybe it's here and you see this and they just went for that, but that's not super obvious. This is obvious. That's what I want to see. Watch that low 85.5 for just a longer term trade on Zscaler. Otherwise probably down till then. Maybe you get a little back test too. Maybe there's another opportunity for more lower on that one. What else? You want me to look at open door? I can look at open door. Let's look at open door. Interesting spot, interesting back test, right? So I mean, this thing popped up. Didn't open door got memed? Am I wrong there? Open door got memed, right? It turned into a meme coin. So I want to be careful how I TA this. Open door memed. Yeah, so it did. It was Wall Street bets, the open army. But it's, so look, it ran up 1700%, right? You're gonna have people take profits. This thing ran up almost 2000% from that low off of 64 cents. Of course, people are going to take profits, but it's back testing an interesting area. It's even back tested it twice here. I mean, it's just like, look at this. Boom, 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 boom. Right where we are. So you had support, lost it, resistance, down. And even on that initial short squeeze where this thing squeezed way up, look at this one daily candle. Do you think there's any coincidence? Look at this candle. That's a 200% candle in, oh, I'm sorry, week. This is a weekly chart. In a week. Is there any coincidence that this is where we ended up, pumping right up into liquidity? No. And here we are again, right back down into it. So look, if you lose these lows here, I don't think much is happening, and it's coming down to $2. If this thing sticks here, maybe there's a shot for upside. Just remember, this thing was short squeezed. This thing was meme, just like GMC, just like AMC. So from a longer term standpoint, just think about how those ended, right? Look at GMC. Sorry, GME, I mean. GMC is a different company. Let's zoom way out, right? Like, is this going to happen again? Probably not, right? Is this going to happen again? Probably not. So is that going to happen again on open door? I don't know, man. Doubt it. Doubt it. What time frame do I usually use? For entries on day trading, 15 minute. What was the other one? United Healthcare, someone want? UNH. Let's take a look at it. Well, so we put in a low, swept the low, took out the high right now, maybe a back test, and then you attack the high at like 350, maybe. It's kind of what I'm thinking there. Again, you fell that high, and I think you're probably coming down to 230, something like that. I mean, that was the breakout. There was the sweep. Right? Swept the lows, gave us the fuel to push through the highs. A lot of common themes here today. Where's this thing heading right now? Well, as long as this thing doesn't just roll over and get acceptance and go lower, it's bid it up to 355, to that high there. Take out 355, bid it up to 383. Right? And that's weekly. Let's look at the daily chart. Yeah, I mean, look at that. Just it gapped right through the high. So that was on the 7th. So that was, last week. It didn't really back test it, but maybe it kind of back tested that. It did. And it's taken out. I mean, I just watch the highs here, right? I mean, this gap right now is not being defended. I mean, we've been above it now for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days. This thing could gap up, man. It could gap up right there at $360 level. Where's your invalidation? Right there. If you're long United Healthcare, right? Easy invalidation. I'm wrong if we get accepted back in a range, and this was just a giant fake out. Low risk, decent reward up to 360. Not a bad little trade. Not a bad little trade on that one. What else? Rivian. Just so you guys know, I'm ignoring all the dumbass comments because I don't have time for them. You guys can go be dumbasses somewhere else. Let's take a look at Rivian. Here we go. So Rivian's been trending upwards, May of 2024 here. Ultimately, it had that high back in December 2025, 22, 23 bucks. Came down, kind of consolidating sideways right now. I think they got a new car coming out. Doesn't Rivian have a new Rivian new models? Don't they have new models coming out? Or are they out? So early 2026, new model starting at 45K, as well as a new R3 and R3X, smaller hatchback. They got some new cars coming out. Look, at the end of the day, look at this on a weekly chart. It's mounting like it's trying to mount like a super volatile comeback, right? Like the dips are being bought. The dips are being bought, but the highs ain't really doing anything yet. So it's like people are loading up, is what that tells me. If they weren't, right? If they weren't, then we wouldn't be seeing the dips get bought like this. So I'm seeing some bullish action, some bullish momentum. Bulls are in charge yet, but they haven't like fully stepped on the gas here. I mean, really, I think Rivian needs to obviously flip that $22.50 level to continue higher. I don't see anything big other than like watch this trend for a pullback. Like if you want to add or long or buy this, like watch this trend, man. Every time it touches this trend, it gets bought up. Draw a straight trend line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and not including the individual day touches in there, but since 2024. So for the last 2 years, since May of 2024, every single time it's touched this trend, it's been a buy. And guess where we are? Or close to it. Might be a little above it right now. Again, another one for easy invalidation. Where are you wrong? You lose that low. right? You lose that low, lose that trend line, could maybe be your second low there. Brian, I appreciate you for getting everyone in there. Cattle to the moon, says Polly V, 100%. Clay, if Clay is watching, we have a rancher in our Discord. He's an actual rancher. He's got a shitload of cattle and he trades cattle futures. I think that's the coolest thing in the world. But I agree with you. Cattle is actually beating the S&P 500 since COVID. It's breaking its high right now. Cattle is now in price discovery. I mean, this thing is up. So this was that March 2020 low. Look at this. Like cows are beating the S&P 500, up 228% since I guess September of 2019 on there. And it's taken out the high, man. Look at that. There's a breakout. It's a confirmed breakout. We'll see. Maybe gets a back test and continues to run higher. I don't think beef's getting any cheaper. Cows are killing it 100%. 100%. Cows are absolutely killing it. Cool. So listen, guys, I'm going to kind of slow things down, wrap things up a little bit here. Let's talk about what matters tomorrow a little bit. Iran headlines, spoiler alert, watch overnight and pre-market news. So this entire rally that we're seeing in the markets right now, and it is a rally, it's 3 green weeks in a row. It lives and dies on the deal narrative at the end of the day. So any headline that says talks are progressing, right? Stocks continue up, oil continues down. But the flip side of that is any headline that says talks broke down again, you're going to get the reverse of that fast. This is the single biggest risk on the tape at the moment right now. It's the war. Now, another thing, if you guys want some stocks to watch going into the rest of the week, earnings season is starting, right? Major banks have been reporting. So watch guidance more than the actual numbers themselves. So what are the companies saying about the next 2 quarters? Remember, the markets are forward thinking. What happens today doesn't matter, right? They're forward thinking. So specifically, like watch what they say around energy costs and consumer demand. It'll start to tell us whether like the economic damage from the oil shock, do they think it was temporary or is it actually showing up in the business at the end of the day? So like I said, earnings season, if you want to watch some stuff going into tomorrow, let me show you guys. So tomorrow, Wednesday, April 15th, these are the companies that are reporting earnings. Still a lot of banks, Morgan Stanley, Bank of America, ASML, you got Progressive on there, PNC, Kinder Morgan, JB Hunt, First Horizon, and then M&T. And then just a look ahead a little bit. You see some big names over there on Thursday. You got Netflix, Pepsi, US Bank, TSMC, BNY Mellon, just a lot of big names. I mean, even into next week, it's Q1 earnings season. Pay attention. The market, it's been doing interesting stuff, right? It's already priced in the end. 3 weeks of straight up on the indices, right? 3 weeks of a V-shaped recovery. Short squeeze, partly hope. It can keep going. The path of least resistance right now, it's still up, but the risk it's not just one-sided. Like we could get some bad news and this thing can just break down at the end of the day. So if a deal happens, you get more upside. If it falls apart, you don't give this is the crazy part, right? If a deal comes through, it's already been priced in, right? But if it falls through, you don't give back a day. You give back 3 weeks of price action. And Ken Griffith, the Citadel, whatever you think about him, he said it on stage today, and I think a lot of banks and hedge fund managers kind of echo this. The world goes into recession if a strait stays closed. The market isn't pricing in that, though, at all. So the question really comes to tomorrow and the rest of the week and how you're trading is, how are you trading with what's happening? Are you trading what the markets hope is going to happen? Because it's 2 different trades, right? What might happen and what the market's pricing in right now. So like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications, go live every day at 5 p.m. Eddie goes live in the evenings a little bit here too on the channel. Free Discord, free courses, tacticaledgetraders.com, all of our links. I appreciate you guys, and you guys have a good night and be safe out there.